Hello, and welcome to another episode of PeDRA's Getting to Know You series, Staff Edition. I'm your host, Olivia Davies, PeDRA's 2020 Fellow, and today we'll be flipping the script as I interview PeDRA's Outreach Manager, Jenn Dawson. Jenn, thanks so much for joining us today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in pediatric dermatology research, and PeDRA.
Well, thanks so much for hosting today, Olivia. I appreciate it. It's very weird being on this side of the interview. But to give you a little bit of a background about me, so I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. I still live here. I live next door to the house that my dad grew up in, and my grandmother and her whole family, she raised her family in. So that's pretty cool. I'm raising my family next door. I began my career really in the nonprofit sector over 15 years ago when I started working for a science museum here in Portland as their community and school outreach coordinator. So I guess you could say outreach is sort of in my nature. And I just really, at that time, fell in love with mission-based work, and I really realized that that was where my heart was drawn and where I needed to be. So I took some time off to start a family, and then shortly after that, a longtime mentor and friend of mine connected me with PeDRA's first executive director, Sheila Rittenberg. Sheila was in search of somebody who could help manage the membership program, which was growing quickly, and PeDRA had been off and running for 4 years and was really getting big. So I was so excited and so thrilled to get in on the ground floor with PeDRA. And just really grateful to Sheila for introducing me to this amazing organization. And prior to starting work in July of 2016 with PeDRA, I had no experience with dermatology or pediatric dermatology. All of my time had been spent in informal science education. So coming into this field was really exciting and really new. And I feel so grateful that I get to be a part of this really incredible organization.
Wow, that is so exciting, Jenn. I love your long history of outreach and kind of your fun story about Portland and growing up there. And of course, Sheila's just been such a huge part of our start, and that connection between the two of you was so magical. We're so happy to have you here. So what do you like about being a part of PeDRA specifically?
Oh gosh, so many reasons, and in no particular order. I'll start with staff. I think we are really fortunate to have a really great team. You and all of our other, folks. It's like working with family. We all know each other really well and get along really well, and we really trust each other and each other's ideas, and we just all have a lot of energy, which is really exciting. It's not very often you get to work with a small staff and get to really get work done. So that's pretty exciting. I also love that PeDRA in and of itself is small but mighty. We have now 400 members, investigators, trainees, researchers, research coordinators, advocacy partners, industry partners, and within these 400 people and these relationships, we are doing a lot of really big work, and I think that's really thrilling. So I love that, and I think probably the biggest thing for me is because I am so driven by mission, I really feel like this job is extremely fulfilling. I feel like we as an organization are affecting change in real time with the studies being published and the science coming out and the partnerships with industry. It's all happening now, and it has implications and positive meaning for our patients now, which is really exciting.
Jenn, I love how you phrased that. I completely agree with you. And it's so exciting to hear that PeDRA is now at 400 members. We really are small but mighty, and it's exciting to think about where we're going to go over the next year. Okay, so I know a lot of us know you in your outreach role, but can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, so as the outreach manager, I oversee the membership and education programs I just really am here to make sure members are connected, that they know what kind of programming we have available, that they're able to connect with one another, that if they have questions about what's going on in the organization, they know they can contact me. So just really a lot of relationship development. I also do all the back end work when it comes to dues. As you all know, you get those pesky dues notices from me. I also manage and track everybody so that we know where our investigators are and what they're working on. A big part of my work is supporting the initiatives of the Early Investigators Committee, which is just, they're doing tremendous things. We have a great mentorship program. We have an EI forum that takes place at the conference every year. And now we're extending out programming for the year. So we're gonna have year-round programming coming soon, sneak peek, EI webinars and podcasts. So look forward to that. So I also oversee our video editing and our podcast production. So, oh, and I also helped launch our social media program, which of course you are well versed in because you are running our social media. So thank you.
Jenn, we are so grateful for all that you've done to just build this robust and impressive network of investigators and early investigators, and all the educational content that you've been making over the past couple of years. I'm just so excited to see these upcoming changes like a podcast, and we just have so much to look forward to as members of PeDRA. Okay, before you go, I have to ask you to tell us something interesting about yourself.
Well, I don't know if it's interesting or embarrassing, but I am a musical theater enthusiast. I once played Maria von Trapp in my high school's production of The Sound of Music. And I spent many years singing as a mezzo-soprano, a lot of classical music. And then on the other end of that musical spectrum, I am a huge fan of Iron Maiden. And for those of you who don't know, Iron Maiden is a heavy metal band that became popular in the 80s, and they still tour. And I have been known to fly up and down the West Coast to see them.
Oh my gosh, Jenn, that is so great. I love to hear kind of the juxtaposition of your musical tastes, and you just have it all. You bring it all to the table. Thank you so much for talking with me today and for talking with all of us and sharing your role as our outreach manager. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so PeDRA Getting to Know You episodes in the future.
Thank you.